Hey, everybody, welcome back to another edition of the Security Repo Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Dwayne, and please like and subscribe. Please tell your friends. We want to help spread the word of security out to the wider world. And speaking of wider world, I have an awesome guest here who is calling in from her home in Buenos Aires, Ailin Castellucci. She is an information and security specialist and hacking community builder at Strike. She previously worked at Mercado Libre, Lemon, and Galicia Bank, and now leads Hécate, a project that combines creative solutions with human-centered education. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
So we actually know each other from DEF CON because we are both organizers of AppSec Village. And it's really great to have you on the show to not just talk about that. I wanted to talk more about your background and the current work you're doing to widen the cybersecurity education and the work you're doing to further cybersecurity education in South America. I'm just very proud to have you on the show. So let's just start high level, like a little bit about your background. How did you get into cybersecurity?
First of all, thank you so much for the invitation. I'm super glad to be here. Like, you know that I love you so much. You're a great person. So for me, it's an honor. And well, my journey in cybersecurity, it's weird because every time I try to tell people how I started, it kind of change because I think it's the kind of thing that it's obvious now, but in the moment that I started my career, it was like a no go. I came from a family that it's zero related to technology. Indeed, I didn't have a computer when I first started, so I needed to buy one. And at that time, I saw I sold shoes at a mall, so it was great to find this amazing not only world but community and to have the opportunity to learn all that stuff. I remember my first information security class that I was amazed for everything that I was seeing, but super scared. I think I never been so scared in my whole life because everything was so new and so weird and so obviously hacker, and I didn't know how to handle the situation of not knowing how to ask because it was super weird. It was a completely other language and way of thinking that for me was amazing. But I remember coming to my home and just burst into tears because I knew that I found something that I couldn't say no to. And I knew that it was going to be a lot of effort, but I wanted that in my life. So I don't know. I feel so lucky because I had the opportunity to work with a lot of amazing people, to be in amazing projects, and to have amazing job opportunities too. I work at a fintech at first doing documentation, support, and all that stuff. And then I moved to a consultant company and I started my career as a pen tester, which I love to do that, but I don't believe I'm the best pen tester. So I kind of evolved to another thing. And then I work at a red team at a bank, Galicia, which was an amazing experience. I had a lot of fun, and it was in the middle of the pandemic, so it was super weird. I remember looking for a lot of cyber intelligence information, and I had this amazing group of friends that were so into that the the main thing I remember about the pandemic was my Friday nights doing like this kind of parties or hanging out with people on Discord talking about like I don't know, yeah, cyber intelligence, drinking beer and singing Alicia Keys in the middle of the night was like the most bizarre experience. And then I moved to Lemon where I had the amazing opportunity, one of the best of my life, to build the whole cybersecurity team and to lead that for almost a year and a half. And that completely changed my mind, like my perspective of responsibilities and Even my schedule changed at that time. I remember working from sun to sun, trying to, I don't know, hold everything in place because it was a lot to handle. And at that time, I was 23, so I had to grow up kind of quickly to do that job. And well, then I have like a big burnout, and I decided to take a step back and try to reorganize my priorities, my life, my relationships, my family. So I came back to the bank and I started a project about security champions where I could work directly to people, which grounded me a lot and helped me to maybe become human again, because coming back from a lot of stress, it's something that alienates you. So it was a great opportunity. And well, then I keep moving. I went to work to Mercado Libre, which is kind of like our Latin American Amazon, to say it in a way, this kind of market. And there I work with the back bounty community, which is awesome because those guys, oh my God, they are awesome. Like real hackers. I love that. And there was when I met Eris from the AppSec village. So I have the opportunity to go to DEF CON, to organize the village, and then I switch again to a consultant company from the US where I stayed for a few months. And right now I'm working at Strike again with hackers because I love that as a hacking community builder, which, well, my role is to get connected with them, try to bring more hackers to our community, and try to create ways to, create engagement with them, and try to find ways to make what we call work something to really enjoy and to try to evolve as a person while you evolve as a professional. Like, I think that is kind of my goal.
Thank you for walking us through that, because one of the things I've discovered doing this show and just conversations I've had in the security community for years now is that there's no one true path. There's no one true background that you would have to get in. So from selling shoes to running the cybersecurity team, building the cybersecurity team at a company in just a few short years, I think that's inspirational for hopefully people listening that are listening to this and saying, wow, I could do security stuff, but how far could I go? Like, what could I really do with it? So I think it's really, really important to raise those stories. And obviously, your education experience, that lighting the fire under you to like really fall in love with the space and the tech, that made an impression on you because that's what you're working on now with this other project, right?
Yeah, totally. um, I truly believe that you need to be super in love with your life. Like every day you can have bad days, but you need to wake up and feel like everything you're doing, it's because you love that, because you believe in that. And I truly, truly believe that I had an amazing opportunity to come across with my passion in life at a very young age. And to have, I don't know how, but a lot of people as a safety net, as a great network, who gave me a lot of opportunities to be where I am today or where I've been. And I really think that we need to normalize that a little bit more, because right now there's a lot of job positions out there and there's a lot of professionals, but they don't match and they don't connect. And if when I was selling shoes, I would want to take a course, but I had like this list of impossible previous knowledge, or I had this amazing necessities to came across to get only for an interview, I wouldn't be here because I was selling shoes. And I remember my first class crying because I didn't know how to open a terminal. And I want to people, I want people to have the opportunity to build their own path, not the same as me, but their own path, having maybe more smoother ways to do that. And I think we need to show a little bit more that it's what you said. It's not the same way for everyone, and you don't have to be the most hackerish hacker of all to work at cybersecurity, because we need more human power, we need more knowledge, we need a lot of stuff that are still evolving and being created, that needs to have another background, another way of thinking. So I think this is a community that it's special because people is super special, and they have their own way of solve and break stuff, and we need to open that doors to let more people in, and trying to be more human with that, like more empathetic with that.
You use the term human-centric in your description of
Yeah.
human-centered education, in your description of Hécate. Maybe what does that mean? Like, what does that actually look like in the course structure?
In the course structure, I created the whole course based on, of course, my experience, but a lot of research, like market research and benchmark, and a lot of also colleague conversations about what do you feel that it's missing when you try to hire people. And we already know what it's missing about the technical stuff. And it's okay because you know where to find it, or you have a lot of AIs or even books, I don't know. But we are missing the human point of everything, like how to get into an interview, how to have a conversation, how to create your own personal brand, how to explain people what you need, what you want, which are your, I don't know, your desires, your expectations about roles. And I believe that even in the job positions, like in the posts in at LinkedIn, their information is so vague, so I don't know, robotic, that it's missing the real connection. Because I know that most of people at cybersecurity works alone and prefer that, and it's okay. But we need to be able, maybe not them, but the rest of us, to communicate with them and try to yeah, to create like a more normalized language to get to translate stuff that it's overcomplicated only because it's cool. Because I don't know, we, to simplify that, we work with risks, and if you don't know how to communicate that, how do you expect to prevent that? How do you expect to share your concerns if you don't know how to simplify what is happening?
Yeah, if you don't know how to talk to other people about these risks, then there's not a lot of point in bringing them up because what you think of as a risk might not be what someone else interprets as the word risk, even. It
Yeah.
gets down to that level. So connecting as people is very important. So I only have to ask because I have guests from Europe all the time on this show. We have guests from all over North America, but I don't think we've had a guest from south of the equator on our program yet. And I'm not asking you to speak for all of South America, but do you see a difference in the markets for that skill gap? Is there things that are specific to the South American market that you think people need to know, or specific challenges that the South American community is facing with security education?
I think I can talk from Argentina specifically, but we have a different way to think about education. Even our universities are thinking in a different way, it's designed in a different way. But I do think that there is something that it's super special for Argentinian people. We love to talk a lot about ourselves, and we think we are the best in everything we do. I think you already, if you know Argentina, if you know Messi, you know that we love our country and we are
You
like,
were going to bring up Messi. I knew you were going to bring up Messi.
I'm so sorry. But I do think that because of our culture, it's, we have this thing of try to survive in every situation. So I read somewhere, I can't remember who wrote that, but the Argentinian like way of thinking is to cheat the code, to try to find different ways to achieve what people normally do A to come to, we will find A, B, C, and D because we need to find different ways to make the same as other people. I do think this comes from a lot of stuff because we are super mixed with immigration. Almost every people in here that you can talk to is uh, a grandson or a granddaughter of Italian, Spanish, French, or whatever. And those people came here because they were escaping to war. So we have this mentality of trying to thrive in difficult situations and trying to make the best of it, complaining a lot because we do have a lot of complaints all the time, but we are always looking a way to cheat the code, to change whatever we are seeing and trying to argentinizarlo, like making it more Argentinian. And I can speak about my generation, the people who was born in the late 90s or the 2K, that we are called la generación del corralito, like the corralito generation. The corralito was a financial political situation that happened in 2001 that, to get it super simplified, the economy, yeah, the economy kind of collapsed because the banks froze the accounts and took every saving of the people and just closed their doors. And the president resigned, and everything went chaotic like 1 week after, before Christmas, and the country went like this. And of course, the next year that changed, and the system, like financial system, tried to uh, restart, but we as a country started to see that we couldn't trust in the system and how we can take care of us and each other in a different way as a community. And people who were very well suffer a lot, and people who are medium class suffer a lot, and people who are poor keep suffering. But what I see with my peers is that we had our first years as humans fearing all the time to lose everything again, and having this constant feeling of not having enough, or to have the possibility to be taken away of what we built. So I think that makes us different in a way because we are always putting a lot of effort, not only on building stuff, but onto securing stuff and trying to find different ways in case that we lose what we build.
That
It's-
is eloquently said. That that puts a whole new spin on the concept of community. I think a lot of people I meet in the security world see a community as a group of hackers we can get to, and I don't think it's cheating. You used the word cheating earlier. I think that's the true one of the true definitions of hacking is like figuring out how the system works and make it produce different outcomes under different circumstances. Uh, but that makes perfect sense and explains, I think, partly why you're so passionate about doing what you do. And that's a beautiful thing. So thanks for sharing that with us. Felt rather personal, honestly. So very happy you shared that with us. Let's move on to the rapid fire part of our show, the 4 questions we ask everybody before we wrap it up here. And we'll start with the basic. What is your favorite all-time security command line tool you've ever touched?
Okay, I do love Metasploit, and it's going to be super simple. It's just because I love all the graphics. I really enjoy the heart. It's amazing.
Metasploit has come up on multiple of these, but no one's ever said that was their favorite part of it. So
It's just for that. I know it's super useful, but I just enjoy how, like, to see how the graphics are like loading. It's amazing.
that's
Super
awesome.
hacker.
Um, so you've built security teams. So you've hired people to do these security roles. What is your go-to question when you are hiring someone?
Okay, I do like to ask, who are people outside work? Because I had a very hard time trying to define myself outside what I do every day, because I feel like I create my own identity based on my work. So I like to ask people about that, because sometimes you're interviewing people that it's not from the security background, and I think you can find some patterns on how they behave with friends, with family, and even with themselves to position them in different roles in a team, which I find great.
Makes sense. All right. Best advice, worst advice. So, what's the best security advice that you're hearing out there that you're giving people, like just overall across the board? What's the best security advice?
Use a security like a password manager, any, whatever you want. Please use one.
And then finally, what's the worst security advice? Like, what's the worst thing you've ever heard someone say? That'll make you secure.
I don't have like anything super specific, but anything that seems to be like super NASA security, I find that it's not worthy, because especially if you're talking to people, you need to understand that their minds of security it's minimized. So if you talk about risk and basic stuff, it's going to be okay. But if you start like explaining super difficult terminology, super cybersecurity niche stuff, it's like, why are you trying to overcomplicate stuff? You're smart, we know. Just transmit the information and keep going.
Said. Well, thanks for being here. Thanks for being on the show and taking time out of your day and busy schedule. We always like to leave it up to the guest to have the last major word here. Anything else you want to tell us? Anything else you want to share? Anything you want to plug? This is your chance.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm super happy to be here. And for the people out there, I don't think this is about cybersecurity, but try to find your passion and follow that. In my case, and I think it's in our case, it's cybersecurity. Probably most of the people hearing that this are going to agree, but you can mix a lot of hobbies and passions and create your own career, which is amazing. It's a great time to be alive.
Well, we will make sure to have links to we'll have links to the Kade and other things down in the show notes. So make sure you check out those links. And if you're coming to DEF CON this year, DEF CON, what is it, 33 this year? Come to AppSec Village and hang out with us. We would love to see you there. All right. Well, thank you.
Bye.